I am a 20-year-old virgin. This is something that I am not ashamed to say. I feel like in modern times, there's so much peer pressure around the idea of losing your virginity at a young age. Like, for some reason, that's something to be proud of. And I'm not saying that is not something to be proud of, but I feel like there's no reason to put other people down for being virgins and vice versa. Just because you're a virgin, that doesn't make you any more pure than somebody who's not a virgin, or somebody who lost their virginity at a young age. I don't put other people down for not being virgins. I just mind my business, to each his own. If you want to lose your virginity at a young age, or if you want to participate in hookup culture, then you do that. You know, be the best at that you can be. But that's something that I simply can't do. Okay, I simply cannot do it. Now, first, let me give you some context behind why I'm still a virgin. Growing up, I was never in any relationships with women. Now, you know, at the time, I didn't really understand why I seemingly was not able to get a girl. But now looking back on it, it's very apparent to me that I had very high standards for what I wanted in a girl, but very low confidence, and I didn't value myself. So basically, this put me in this gray area where I felt like I didn't want to settle for a girl that I knew I didn't want, but I felt like I wasn't good enough for the girls that I did want. This basically persisted for the better part of 18 to 19 years, and now I'm 20 years old, and I finally have started to break out of this pattern and out of this mindset and build my confidence up to the point where I know that I'm worthy of the type of girl that I want in my life. Now, in addition to me never having been in a relationship, I never really looked at girls in the same way that a lot of guys look at girls. And obviously, I'm just working off of assumptions here. I can only assume the way that other guys look at women based on how some of my friends look at women, or, you know, guys on the internet. I don't look at women in that way. I was never looking for hookups. I never looked at women and just thought about sex. I thought about companionship. Okay, that's what I wanted out of a relationship. I wanted somebody that I could be myself around, and just to have a life partner to experience life with, you know, and see all of the things that I wanted to see and grow into the person that I wanted to become with that person by my side. That's what I saw in women. So, you know, that dog phase that a lot of guys go through, I never really went through that. Okay, even to this day, I never really went through that. So, of course, when you add those two things together, it makes sense that I'm a virgin right now at 20 years old. Now, in addition to that, I started NoFap in April of 2020. And since I'm a virgin on NoFap, you could technically say I'm on retention. Okay, now one thing that retention taught me is the idea of valuing your energy. So bearing that in mind, why would I want to expend my energy on a girl that I know is not going to be a part of my life moving forward? It just doesn't really make sense to me in my head. Okay, I feel like not only am I wasting my energy, but I'm wasting my time. Okay, I'm wasting my time and my energy on somebody that is temporary, as opposed to spending that time and energy on something that is maybe not permanent, but something that is going to last a lot longer, like YouTube. You know, my goals, my aspirations. These things mean a lot more to me than temporary pleasure. And NoFap definitely helped reinforce this mindset. Okay, the idea of putting my purpose above women. This was not always the case in my life, but now it is. Okay, I'm so dedicated to my purpose that women are just kind of on the back burner. And I don't really go out of my way to look for women because I don't really care to. Now, that's not to say that I'm like a part of men going their own way, or that I'm holding myself out for marriage or anything like that, but I just don't really prioritize women very high in my life right now. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me that my perspective on sex is going to change once I lose my virginity. And they might be right. You know, they might be right in the sense that, you know, I might not see it as something that's very special. But I feel like the only reason why that would be is because I'd be losing it with somebody that I don't actually have any type of connection with. Somebody that I don't really have feelings for. And so it's an empty pleasure, like I said. It's literally like beating your meat, just with an extra person and probably spending extra time, money, and energy in the process. So, you know, even though I'm getting that same gratification that I might get physically, I feel like that pleasure is kind of empty. It's kind of like getting money. You know, money is always going to be nice. It's always going to be nice to get money. Okay, but would you rather make money doing something that you love to do, or working at a job that you hate? I've made money from doing YouTube, and I've made money from working at jobs that I didn't like. And I'll be the first to tell you that the money that I made from YouTube was 1,000 times more rewarding. Okay, even though the feeling of getting money is always nice, it's a lot nicer when you're getting it from something that you love. And I feel like sex is the same way. You know, when you're releasing, when you're experiencing that feeling, that physical sensation, it's always going to feel good, okay, no matter who you do it with, or even if you do it by yourself. But it'll feel a lot better if you're doing it with somebody that you genuinely love, okay, or at least genuinely like. This is why I cannot do one-night stands, okay? It takes a lot more than just one night for me to really accurately assess if I like you or not. And if I like you, then I'm not gonna wanna just do a one-night stand with you. I'm gonna wanna continue on with what we might have. You know, I wanna keep building with you. And if I don't like you enough to build with you, then it's just empty pleasure. Another reason why the idea of one-night stands or hookups or pump and dump, whatever you wanna call it, doesn't really appeal to me is the idea of STDs. Okay, now, I'm not the most educated in this topic, and the reason why is because I don't really need to be. And I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but since I'm not hooking up, you know, I'm not really that worried about this. You know, I'm a virgin. I don't have to really worry about a lot of these things that other people might have to worry about. I don't have to worry about going to the clinic, you know, or feeling a burn every time I pee. Okay, I don't have to think about things like that. Now, I understand that this is something that I'm going to have to worry about regardless of if I'm in a committed relationship or if I'm just doing hookups. But I feel like, obviously, the lower that number is, the lower your body count is, the less you have to worry about these types of things. And obviously, you want to be messing with higher quality women, if that makes sense. Which, that's another reason why I don't really like the idea of hookups. Hooking up doesn't necessarily make a woman low quality, but I feel like men, particularly in the red pill community, that I've seen at least, obviously I can't speak for everyone, but the ones that I've seen tend to glorify the idea of this pump and dump when it comes to low value women. I do not understand that. I genuinely do not understand the upside, okay, the reward of expending your energy, your valuable energy, time, and maybe even money on a low value woman. Okay, now what is a low value woman? In my eyes, a low value woman is somebody who doesn't really have anything going for herself. She leeches off of other people to compensate for the fact that she has nothing going for herself. She might be shallow, materialistic. You know, these are the ideas that go through my head when I think of a low value woman. Okay, low value does not necessarily correlate with looks per se. It doesn't really correlate with money. It's more about their mindset. So if they have a mindset that I know doesn't align with mine, why should I invest my time into them? Okay, this is just the way that I move in general. Not even just with hookups or sex or with women, but with people. If my mindset is so different from somebody else's mindset that I know we're not going to the same place in life, then they're holding me back from going to that place in life. So why should they be in my life at all? You know, I don't want to hook up with them. I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to interact with them.